I think this breaks the record for controversy as soon as anybody can come into office, and this is currently aimed directly at the Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy, and that is James Honea, and that is something that is very new, as he did replace what was formerly Russell Smith. Now, obviously, Russell Smith had his own drama, but this is now coming at rapid fire, and that's because we have recently had the sad news that there was a sailor that passed away that took their own life. Now, I'm unable to find that specific post with this photo and all that kind of stuff to give the actual context, but I do remember exactly what it said. He had posted to Facebook and he said, "Thanks for the memories, goodbye," and just had several photos, and that was really all they saw, and people finally were able to reach out to him, and it was confirmed that he had taken his own life. We now have a former chief petty officer that has actually come out and come into the forefront to try and blast the Master Chief Petty Officer, as it looks like he's garnered massive attention on social media in order to put the pressure on him, and it looks like there has been progress that's been made. If you guys don't remember, this was Grant Conn, an advocate for people that were dealing with difficult times in regards to mental health, and he would always come out trying to help sailors. He has now been officially retired out of the military as a medical board from what it looks like, and there is some controversy maybe with that, but look at what he said to the Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy, as he is a retired Navy chief. He says, "Yesterday, we lost a sailor who posted a goodbye message on social media. This has to stop. I'm asking the office of the Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy to immediately enact a plan that will help with suicide crisis the Navy is facing, since the last one didn't." Ooh, that was some tea. "Revamp the entire suicide prevention website. It should no longer be a tab where somewhere hidden on My Navy HR filled with outdated PDFs and comics. If I was contemplating suicide, I wouldn't waste my time trying to find resources. They had to be immediately available." And this is, I was unable to actually go through this fast enough to make the video, but there really was a cartoon character right here that had like a cartoon that was kind of ironic. He says, "Suicide prevention coordinators should have duty phones and have their numbers listed publicly. When a sailor is identified at a command, we shouldn't have to scramble to find a phone number. 3. Although a suicide prevention command exists, do they really do anything? I can answer that. No. Every sailor at the command should be inserting themselves into social media groups like the First Class Mess, Chief Petty Officer Mess, r/Navy on Reddit, r/military. They should post resources and make themselves known." And that's because a lot of the military and the Navy in general really incentivizes collateral duties or extra tasks that are out there to make you look good, not actually for the benefit of what is required of that task. And so you find people asking, what is the thing I can do with the least amount of effort in order to look good and get promoted? So it's what he's saying here is we need some accountability for that. 4, 24/7 on-duty hospital corpsman mental health counselors. The Veterans Crisis Line often has a wait and sometimes doesn't help. These sailors need someone to talk to that can relate to their daily lives. And I do agree with that, because being in the military, understanding all the duties and responsibilities that come with that, and being a young adult trying to adjust to this lifestyle is very drastic. You have to imagine you're being pulled out from your hometown, any family that you have, any kind of remembrance of what you even look like, because you now get haircuts, you have to shave every day, you have a different uniform, your relationships are going to be different, and these are from people from all different parts of the world or in country, where you're asking for just like every mental health issue to have an uprising, essentially, as everything in your life is adjusting or changing. He then says, to expedite the referral process, first a sailor needs to see a primary care medical provider, 1 to 3 month wait. Then a sailor needs to talk to an internal medical health professional, 1 to 3 month wait. Then they can be referred out to a civilian. This is way too long for someone who is contemplating taking their own life. He says, this is just a few steps that can be taken. I'm always available to talk, and even gives his own phone number here with his email. And he does tag the Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy, and this man has come to the forefront trying to put the pressure, and I think he can have that, ability or that leverage there, because he has done it. He has been known to step in critical moments like this, and he's not wrong that access to care and having someone able to see somebody a little bit sooner might help with prevention versus right now where we're in a state, I would say, of reaction. Now, he did get some insight or some reaction from the Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy, and that's because he leaked this. Looks like the Master Chief Patterson of the Navy said, "Hey Grant, good morning. Are you in San Diego by chance? Master Chief Patterson of the Navy, Honea, saw your post and is interested to discuss your ideas." And he says, "Hi, blank. That is great news. Unfortunately, I'm not. I live in Jax." And then it says below that, "Meeting with the Master Chief Patterson of the Navy in 2 weeks. What in regards to mental health would you like me to bring up?" And this has led to a point where I can say that he's not the only one vouching for this. It looks like this is not going to be just a typical meeting with the Master Chief Patterson of the Navy, because he is no longer active duty and he's not held by the same constraints that you would see, and I would say maybe even some kind of mutual respect, since he was a former Chief Petty Officer. And I wanted to say that this is interesting because what this Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy is looking to look for in the future of what it means for enlisted: warfighting competency, professional character and development, and says quality of life. And so I think some of these, all together will be kind of in the realm of taking care of mental health and kind of making this a good thing. But we're seeing the same sentiment across the board of people saying we're tired of uniform changes. We're tired of, I guess you could say, some form of political correctness. We're tired of these issues that junior enlisted, or just enlisted in general, really don't care about. They care about being valued as people. They care about being seen as more than just a number. They care about having some kind of satisfaction from their job. And I can tell you that the military is almost trying to throw everything at you and overtasking. I believe, in the core of my heart, there are too many people out there doing more with less, and I think that is what is pushing this community specifically to get into this rut of having to deal with this. We're no longer in the times of OIF, OEF, under the umbrella of global war on terror. We are now in a peacetime setting where many of these people have never had this. So that means they are facing some kind of adversity during a peacetime, which shouldn't be that way. This is where we should be rebuilding, recouping, getting our organizational structure back to its full integrity, and revamp our skills of what we learned and how we can grow and develop. Saying "suck it up, buttercup" is not going to change the future of what this problem is. And unfortunately, I feel like this has been dropped on his lap, as he has just come into office only about a month ago. And obviously, that doesn't excuse somebody, obviously being able to, start working on this problem and move forward with it. But I do believe this is going to be a heavy task. And if he could put this on part of his priorities here, I think this would really change the trajectory and the morale of the U.S. enlisted military. Let me know what you guys think as far as what it means to have this come up, and do you think that we're going to get anything out of this? And if you have any suggestions, please reach out to Grant Kahn as far as if you want to advise a question and answer, whatever you want to have addressed, because he's going to have a one-on-one conversation with them. If you guys have questions for myself, hit me up on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, TikTok, or down in the comments below. I love you guys. I'll see you next time.